Today, I'm reviewing Mario Strikers Battle League. I'll go over the gameplay, different game modes, how the game feels, and whether this game is worth the money. Alright, let's get into it. Gameplay is fun. It is the most violent Mario game I've ever played. The ragdoll physics are great, and every time you tackle someone into an electric fence, it never gets old. The game is a fun soccer game with a little hockey influence. You gain a 4v2 advantage like a hockey power play by strategically using items on the field. Items are incredibly powerful, and they work how they work in Mario Kart. You have red shells that are homing, green shells shoot straight, the star gives you invincibility, and the bombs create an explosion that knocks everyone down. Items are introduced through rainbow blocks and are universal for both teams. They are thrown out periodically during the match. If a team is up by 2 goals, the losing team will be given extra items when they do a kickoff. This is a comeback mechanic to keep games close and interesting. If one team is more aggressive and tackles characters without the ball, the game will throw an item block out to the victimized team. This is how the game tries to keep the game from becoming an absolute brawl fest. But there are times where taking out the competition for a quick goal is totally worth it. Just know that there are consequences for being super aggressive. The last item is Striker Orbs, which are electric orbs that fall onto the field, and once a team obtains an orb, all the characters on that team start glowing, which means if they complete a power shot, they get a chance to activate their special move. Each character's hyper strikes gets a unique cutscene, and they look amazing. There's also a mini game where you try to time a bar to land in a green spot twice. This will give greater odds on scoring with a hyper strike. If you get both green bars, then the shot will automatically score, and hyper strikes are worth 2 goals. If you don't, the other team could stop the strike from going in by mashing A when prompted. Hyper strikes are powerful, but are hard to pull off because they take a long time to perform. And if the enemy tackles you, it stops the strike and you lose your hyper ability. The depth in this game comes from being able to strategize items, performing perfect tackles, performing perfect dodges, using hyper strikes, and performing perfect power shots. This creates a unique experience each time, and it feels like it creates a skill gap between players, which is good for a multiplayer game. I feel like Nintendo tries to erase skill gaps in their sports games, but this time it feels different. I think this is their best sports game that's come out on the Switch. To have more depth, every character has completely different stats. You can buy battle gear that changes the way they play by altering their stats. I found once you play through the single player cups, you have enough money to kit out characters that you really like. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more news and reviews on Nintendo. And I go live every single Wednesday and would love to talk about Nintendo with you guys. Let's go over all the game modes, and it is probably the worst part of this game because there's only 3 game modes. First, there's quick play, where you can play with friends or with random people and have a fun time. Cup battles are the single player portion of the game, and I feel they are lacking in content here. Each cup is supposed to be different between how the CPU plays, whether they have extra passing, speed, strength, or shooting. There are 2 modes, normal mode and galactic mode. Normal mode is really easy, and the teams didn't feel any different. You do get an extra gear item for completing this mode, and then the credits will roll. Galactic mode is much harder. The teams feel stronger, faster, and shoot better. But it feels cheap because the enemy CPUs are way better than yours. Since you can only control 1 player at a time, you have to rely on your 3 CPUs, and they just don't get the job done. I finished every cup in galactic mode except the final one. The last team is really hard and have lost like 20 straight times to the final team in that cup. So I'm still working on it. I've been playing it solo, but you can play with 4 players, but it has to be couch co-op. Maybe the final galactic battle is easier playing with 3 humans. I just don't have that luxury. What I'd like to have seen is them introduce boss battles for the single player mode, and they could have made the soccer fields have specific characteristics. Like the lava field could have had lava eruptions interrupting the gameplay, and just things to make it more interesting. Cup battles feel like an afterthought, and that they just didn't care. The third game mode is Striker Clubs. Now I haven't been able to play any Striker Club seasons yet, but no one has, because Nintendo won't start the first season until June 20th. Once the season starts, I'll make a video breaking down my experience with the divisions, rewards, and how everything plays out. I'll still go over the general info about this new game mode, so you're ready when the first season starts. Seasons last for 1 week, and then they'll be off for the next week, so you'll have 2 seasons a month. You'll be able to place in a group with 4 other clubs, and they'll try to earn season points to determine if they get promoted or demoted in the next division. The largest coins and token payouts are given to the top ranked teams in each division. You will earn points for every game your club plays, whether it's together or playing solo. The point system works like this. 6 points for a win, 2 points for a draw, and 1 point for a loss. So it's not a complete waste of time if you lose. There are more unlockables for customizations for your stadium, and you need to work as a team to collect the bolts throughout the week to reach those goals. Hopefully we'll see them update the collectibles over time and maybe add some seasonal decorations. You get bolts for playing matches whether you win or lose, and those bolts are currency for the stadium decorations. These decorations span from being 10,000 bolts to 1,000 bolts. It's best to fill out all 20 spots so that everyone can work together for the best decorations. The online infrastructure isn't the best, and I encountered some laggy gameplay every time I played 2v2 matches. It wasn't too distracting, but it is noticeable. This could be the reason why they didn't allow 4v4 games online, because it's struggling to run at 2v2s. 1v1 games and open striker club matches have been the smoothest experience for me, and my Switch is running on an Ethernet cable. I would love to see them fix it with an update, because I would love to see 4v4 matches for online play, especially for striker clubs. It would be so much fun. The game runs at 1080p 60 FPS in dock mode, and 720p 60 FPS in handheld mode. Digital Foundry gave a rundown and stays pretty solid at 60 FPS and drops 30 FPS during cutscenes. But that's not a big deal because you're not interacting with the game during that time. The final verdict: is this game worth it? Even though I think this is Nintendo's best Mario sports game on the Switch, it still has the fundamental problem that they don't put enough content in their sports games. I think this game is a wait for a sale $40. I don't think them adding seasons will change my verdict. I think that if you're a Mario Strikers super fan and been waiting for this game, you should play it. It's still a lot of fun. But for the majority of Nintendo fans, wait for a sale. Have you missed the latest trailers on Diablo 4 or Starfield? Check out my videos right here. I made a reaction on both those trailers. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.